Closed captioning for The Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh, yeah. Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on The Casey Malone Show.
Over the years, I've had the privilege to interview many fascinating people that make up the flavor of the Mahoning Valley. And today, we remember two of them, Barbara Krause and Bill Griffin. Barbara, the longtime voice of WISU, passionate for classical music and bread making. Her breads, baguettes, and sourdough were amazing. That's why I call her the Bread Whisperer. And Bill Griffin, longtime cable guy and aviation fan. His passion for aviation led him to open up the Ernie Hall Museum and Sluice Airfield. I was lucky to interview both of these people, and I want to share those interviews with you right now. Well, I am very excited about today's segment. I've been wanting to meet Barbara Krause for quite a while. Long-time listener. First time I finally get to see her.
Oh
and
my God.
It is a pleasure to finally...
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you too. I see you all the time on TV, but yeah, this is the first time we've met face to face.
Now, you have been... You are... how long have you been here at WISU?
A long time. I was actually a student, a music student, back in 1972. One of my history professors, music history professors, Ron Gould, recommended me to this radio station. He said, they've just started up down there with a classical music station. You're a voice major. You sing in these different languages. You would be perfect. So I went down and they hired me. And
so you were a part-time gig?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
And
when
then you started full-time?
Yeah, I graduated in '75. They hired me full-time. And I've been here pretty much ever since, except for a little hiatus where I had my kids, but I was still working part-time. So yeah, it's been a continuous line since my whole adult life, really.
With your other programming, the weekend programming and your news, all things considered, have you met Terry Gross and people like that?
I haven't met Terry Gross, no. But we, let's see, we had Cokie Roberts just come to town a few weeks ago. She was fabulous. She's my idol. And it was just so wonderful to see her and to introduce her and to talk to her and to listen to her. This woman is just paramount.
Do you do personal appearances? I know you introduced Cokie Roberts. Do you have to go out? I mean, like commercial radio, you're going to car lots and you're doing remotes. You don't have to do those kind of things.
Not too many, no. I mean, sometimes people will ask me to speak at the Cultural Alliance program.
With Dr. Beelan.
Yes.
I spoke there too. Remember,
I know
Bill,
you did.
We did that.
I think I was your follow-up act.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
I spoke on Ireland, Irish traditions.
And I spoke on France.
So you're here live every day.
Yes.
And you don't pre-program anything.
Oh, yes. I pre-program. I'm here every morning at 5 o'clock. I don't go on the air until 6 o'clock. That's for the news. My first part of the day is the news. But then I have the 8 o'clock hour free to just do my prep. He led a tragically short life. Vasily Sergeyevich Kalinikov showed so much promise but died 2 days before his 35th birthday. This was...
Well, you may not know this, but Barbara's son is my neighbor.
Yes.
And I've been really bothering and pestering him that I wanted to meet his mother. And I really enjoy your bread.
Oh, thank you.
And you have, given Eric loaves to give to me.
Yes.
And I am really hoping that you would come on my show.
Oh, my gosh.
And maybe bake some bread with me because yours is amazing. It's delicious. You got it. You're going on. I got it. You're doing that, okay?
I would love to. I would love
bread on my show. And we will not play any music you do not like.
Oh, thank you.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor. All hail St. Patrick. Your headquarters for the high holiday is right here at the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery. Rude the Dude, you have got a lot planned.
Yes, we do. Starting parade day, we're actually going to be in the parade this year. After parade, we have family-friendly events going here, so you can bring your kids down. During the week, different brewery every day. Free glassware, t-shirts, come down, support. Saturday, rooting the professionals, and Sunday, opening up at 8 a.m. with your Irish menu, Irish food, Irish drinks, and celebrating St. Pat's Day.
Reggie, Chef Reggie has been busy. He is going to be baking off all the corned beef, beautiful Reubens. Look at those spring rolls, whatever you need. And of course, there'll be a pint of Guinness waiting for you. So where to celebrate St. Patrick's Day? They've got you covered right here at the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery. Sláinte!
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Bernard. I've been giving the people of our valley free advice for 30 years, and my message has never changed. If you're involved in an automobile accident, don't try to handle it yourself. Call a lawyer. A lawyer will be your representative, dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the red tape that you may encounter. Hiring a lawyer doesn't mean you'll end up in court. And remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases.
That's good advice. Need a lawyer? Learn more at ElizabethBernardLaw.com.
Mayflower Woolham is your full-service, independent insurance agency. We work with several insurance companies to offer you choices for your insurance needs. We'll find the right product at the right price. Personal, business, farm, life. Trust Mayflower Woolham. You focus on what's important, we'll take care of the details. Mayflower Woolham, close by with 3 locations to serve you.
We strive to be the best, provide the best food, the best atmosphere, and overall enjoyment of your dinner, lunch, or any kind of gathering you have that involves the upstairs restaurant. Your imagination's your only limitation. The customer understands that they're going to get the best food all the time. And it's great. Give it a try. I'm Executive Chef Tim King here at the Upstairs Restaurant. I just love food.
Rulli Brothers is way ahead of the competition. Check out Rulli Spice World, where you can buy bulk herbs and spices, plus candies, nuts, and fillings for pennies on the dollar. Shop Rulli Brothers, home of the famous Evening Express.
Celebrate the 41st Annual Mahoning Valley St. Patrick's Day Parade on Sunday, March 10th. Enter your group, organization, or marching band at mvstpatrickparade.com.
Your home, your way. The choices are endless at Stonebridge Neighborhoods. Choose the lot and floor plan at Stonebridge or Westbury Park. Spacious single-family homes built to your specifications. Or enjoy a villa at Saybrook Point with extensive options for maintenance-free living. See for yourself. Stonebridge Neighborhoods will be your next move. Grand opening March 30th and 31st. For more information, contact Howard Hanna today. 4 for 5 till 6. Happy hour at Sadie's Place inside the Best Western, Route 46, Austintown. Well, look who's in the kitchen with me. Ask and you shall receive. So Barbara, who I've already sampled many of her breads, has agreed to come on and make a quick bread recipe with me.
I hope it's going to be okay. They're baguettes, which are very temperamental, but we're going to do our best today.
But you said this baguette really is pretty quick.
It's not bad, but it still takes a little bit of time because the dough will have to sit for a while. But with the magic of television, we'll just speed things up a little bit here. So for this recipe, you'll need 5 cups of bread flour, 2 cups of cool water, 1 tablespoon of instant dry yeast, and 2½ teaspoons of kosher salt. 5 cups of bread flour.
Directly into the bowl before anything else.
Yep. 2 cups of cool water.
Okay.
And we're going to mix this up and we're going to let it sit for about 15 minutes.
No yeast, no salt.
No, not yet.
Okay.
This is called the autolyse.
Okay.
And what it means is just to rest. The dough is resting and it's pulling in all of that water.
So it took a few minutes to mix the dough. It's all combined. And now after about a 15-minute rest, we did speed that up. But you ultimately should wait an hour, correct?
I would say, yeah.
And now?
So now the yeast, and we're going to turn this on again.
Okay, while it's doing.
While it's
going.
While
Okay.
it's going. And then slowly add the yeast.
Okay. All right, and oh, it's mixing nicely.
All right, now we're ready to add the salt.
Okay. And there's no waiting period here.
You probably, no. If you've mixed the dough for a couple of minutes, then you can go right ahead and add the salt. Yeah.
So you want me to get this going again? Here we go.
And again, slowly. Okay, so you could see how it's come together. It's not very firm. It's a shaggy dough, which is fine. At this stage, it's fine.
Shaggy, I like all the
shaggy dough,
terminology.
yeah. And so at this point, what we're going to do is allow the dough to rest and do the rest of the work on its own.
Okay.
So we can cover it, and we can do one of two things. We can either put it on the counter, and depending on what your room temperature is, it could take between an hour and a half to 3 hours to, we'll say, almost double. Or you can do what I do, and you can put it in the refrigerator overnight. Now the dough will still rise, but much slower.
So we'll fridge this, but Barbara is so clever. She already has dough ready to go.
I do.
Perfectly.
And so we're going to divide it into 4 parts
Okay.
and pray that they're somewhat equal. Okay. All right. So the thing about baguettes is
Yes.
it all comes down to the shaping.
All right.
The shaping and the slashing.
I'm
So
going to
if you
learn.
want to work with me here, you
Okay.
can take one piece. Just kind of put it in a little ball. Just
Ball.
yeah, scrunch it up like that. And then pat it down. Seam side down. Okay. If you let it relax, it will do whatever you need to do to it. If you
Okay.
don't let it relax, it's going to fight you every step of the
Now,
way.
how do you know it's relaxed?
Because when you want to do what you want to do, it will happen, and if it doesn't
Okay.
happen, it's not relaxed.
I don't need to give it a glass of wine or a cigarette.
Yeah.
No, it's just looking good, bud.
We all have our
Okay.
methods. Okay, so take your dough and just try to stretch it out into a rectangle, and I'm saying approximately 6 by 8 inches, but you know that's approximate. Now take the bottom end towards you and flip it over, and take your fingertips
Okay.
and seal it like that.
Okay.
No, here, right there.
Right on
Okay.
that seat.
Right.
Okay.
And again, and be very careful because this poor dough has used all of its energy building air bubbles, and we don't
Okay.
want to distract from that or defeat that. So pick it up on
Okay.
the end here and fold it over again. And very gently seal it.
Again.
Yep, right there.
Okay.
Okay. And if you can, do it again.
Okay.
Okay? But I take the dough with my hand like this, and I put my thumb right along that seam there.
Okay.
And with my other hand, I'm pressing down with my fingertips to give it one last fold. All right, so the last step
Yes.
in our shaping is we put our dough in front of us, and we take our hands in the middle, yeah, and then you roll up. And baguettes generally have a tapered end, so try and taper the end.
So we have a linen cloth here.
Yes, in France they call these a couche, a
couche.
bed, yeah.
Okay.
And we're just going to flour it.
Now, does everybody need a couche?
No, you can
use
use
a dish
a
towel?
towel. You can use a dish towel, just not terry cloth. Make a fold in between them so that they support.
So they all get to know each other better.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. You are serious.
Oh, you should see my house. Especially on baking day. And now, if usually I don't make 4 at a time, and usually that covers, but it doesn't quite cover now, so we're just going to cover that with a cloth, and we're going to give this about a 30-minute rise. So what we're going to do right before we load this into the oven, we're going to take a half of a cup of water.
Okay.
The directions tell you to put the piece of stone on the next to the lowest rack in your oven, and on the lowest rack of your oven, a metal pan, has to be metal, not glass, because we're going to put cold water into a hot pan, and you don't want it.
And that steam will help.
The steam is very important for the baguettes, yes. With your oven, I'm not sure, I'm going to say 20 minutes.
All right,
We'll
so
see.
let's see.
And if they're browning unevenly, you can open the oven door real quickly and move them around.
Well, look how beautiful the loaves came out. Mine was, of course, the ugliest one. So I took mine, and I'm going to make that traditional pan. I know you've been to Spain.
Yeah.
And what you do is I toasted this under the broiler, and you just take like a piece of garlic that's cut, and you rub the pieces with it, okay? Now, when I went to Spain, here's what they did. They rubbed the garlic, then they just took a tomato that was really ripe, and they just rubbed it like that.
Oh, interesting.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then they would drizzle it with a little olive oil, and then they would salt and pepper it, or just salt it, really. And that was it. Now, there's other ways to make it. So I rubbed it with garlic, and then what they do is they use a box grater with a ripe tomato, and they add the olive oil to the tomato mixture. See? And it's pre-done.
Wow.
Now, we're gonna do a little taste test, see which way we like it better. You know, for that little bit of garlic, can you believe
Oh, yeah.
how tasty that is?
It really is. Very aromatic, too.
Here is to Barbara. Go to my website, CaseyMaloneShow.com. The recipe will be there. Her loaves are beautiful. Mine, not so much. But they do taste good. Taste good. So cheers.
Cheers.
Here's to us. None better. The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
At the Vein Center in Med Spa, we realize the serious health issue varicose veins can cause. We know it's more than just cosmetic. That's why we provide you with caring and personal service in a clean and friendly atmosphere. All vein procedures are done in our office during convenient and flexible hours by a medical doctor with over 20 years experience. The Vein Center in Med Spa also offers fillers and neurotoxin procedures, hydrofacials, and laser hair removal services. And now we're proud to welcome Dr. Kiesel to our practice. Call the Vein Center in Med Spa for a free consultation and see why our patients leave satisfied.
To own a business where your name's on the window can be pretty cool. That's my family. My name is Danny Catullo, and I'm the owner of Catullo Prime Meats. My grandfather started the business in 1962. I was able to take our old style butcher shop and bring it out to the new age using e-commerce to get our products to more customers. When we started shipping, there was not a ton of information out there. That's where we really worked with FedEx so they could be able to help us with our perishable shipping. We were taking on new purchases that we never had to make before. Boxes, coolers, ice packs, anything that was involved around shipping. So we can no longer do this with the cash that we had on hand. So because of the Plum Card from American Express and all of its benefits, it was a natural fit to help grow our business. And when someone calls and lets you know that you made their dinner, that's satisfaction that you can't get anywhere else.
There's a new standard in assisted living.
One that combines comfort, luxury, convenience, and the highest quality expert care.
Your loved ones can experience it now in Canfield's premier senior living location.
The Inn at Ironwood offers fine dining and amenities such as a concierge, salon, housekeeping, and laundry services.
And a truly elegant setting in Canfield.
Call us for more information or visit us and take a tour.
The Inn at Ironwood, Canfield's premier senior living location.
We've been in the Mahoning County for 70 years. We're not going anywhere.
Bree and I have been in this business since we were kids.
My grandpa built the business off of loyalty, honesty, and trust. My grandfather and my father, they have a legacy here.
We have learned all of these great things from both of them that, we will be sure to keep the legacy going into the fourth generation.
Get real, get Kamara.
At Rulli Brothers, the family is in the store. Meats, deli, produce, even the checkout. We work hard to ensure that you get the best products at a personal shopping experience. At Rulli Brothers Markets, our customers are our top priority. Our family is in the store.
$5 Burger Mondays at Sadie's Place, inside the Best Western, Route 46, Austintown. The museum that bears Ernie Hall's name honors everything regarding aviation. Hall was a local hero whose contributions influenced early aviators like the Wright brothers. Ernie Hall is an aeronautical pioneer. You are barely a year old, and you already need to expand. I mean, you have got so many artifacts, and it's not all about Ernie Hall.
I know, it's crazy. It is crazy. But here at the museum, the namesake is Ernie Hall, but what we really like to focus on is the local heroes and the local people, but we also highlight a lot of the national and world-renowned aviators like Howard Hughes and the Spruce Goose, and Charles Lindbergh in the Spirit of St. Louis, Jimmy Doolittle in his GB Racer, the propeller from the USS Akron airship. We have all kinds of really, really neat things here, nationally, internationally, but also what we really love to do is talk about the local people.
And your acquisitions. Now, this has been a personal interest of yours, what, since you were a little boy?
Yes, that's true. I grew up right across the street from Ernie Hall's original airport. And as a very young boy, my older brother and my dad would take me over there. And I remember it like very, very vividly. And at the time, Ernie was getting older and he was kind of crabby. I'd ask him for an airplane ride. He wouldn't give me one.
Beat it, kid.
Yeah, exactly. My dad would say, don't ask for airplane rides. But here, Ernie's airport was torn down painstakingly and moved to the Trumbull County Fairgrounds, where they were going to turn it into a museum. And a terrible tornado storm came through in the early 80s, I believe it was, and wiped it out. So that was the end of that. So ever since then, I've wanted to do something like this.
And where are you getting all these items?
We are so lucky. People, we've got the word out, and I'd like to ask the people who are watching this to, if you know somebody, if it's a friend, a relative, a father, a mother that has something to do with aviation, we'd love to immortalize them here at the museum.
And you do tours for the school kids and for different organizations. I mean, what is the reaction of the young kids when they come through?
Yeah, Casey, it's probably the most exciting thing. I've said this since the beginning. If I could make the little kids in the cars driving down the street, North River Road, say, Mom and Dad, let's go see the airplanes. That's what I want to do. So I want them to tell them, let's go see the airplanes again. We get the kids in here, college kids, I call them kids because I'm old, elementary school kids, high school kids, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. They love it here. It's very interactive. You can touch things. You can sit in airplanes, pretend that you're a pilot. That's what I want to do. Tell them a little history, and at the end of the day, we don't test them because I didn't like tests when I was in school, but we have a little contest to see what they can remember and take away from the place.
Now, the Red Baron would not be one of our local heroes.
He was not a local hero. He is definitely a world-famous pilot from World War I. He's known for shooting down the Snoopy. Snoopy in the Red Baron.
Exactly, that darn Snoopy.
But what he did in this airplane, this red Fokker triplane, is he was able to shoot down 80 airplanes in World War I, making him the leading ace. And what we have here is actually fabric from the wing and from the tail of the Red Baron's airplane in which he got shot down in. There's only a handful, Casey, of things from that airplane left in the whole world. And we have it here at the Ernie Hall Aviation Museum, and this is the certificate of authenticity.
And why? Was the plane pretty much destroyed?
It was. He got shot down and he crashed behind enemy lines, and the airplane was tore apart by the enemy because they didn't care for the Red Baron.
He wasn't a well-liked guy.
He painted his plane red so that everybody would know it was him and be scared. And they were. But he was actually proven to be shot down from the ground. Somebody on the ground actually shot him down. But they credited a guy who was the closest to him in the air in an airplane to have been the pilot who shot him down. His name was Brown, and he was from Canada.
And what is your biggest fundraiser? That's usually in August.
That's right, August. It's in August, and it's the Wings and Wheels, where we have a collection of airplanes and cars all at the same place. And I like to call it a fair on the ground and in the air.
Now, this is a great facility. And I love the way the back door opens. Is this available to rent for parties and things like that?
Boy, am I glad you mentioned that, because yes, we have rented it to all kinds of organizations, people who have banks that want to have a meeting place that's a little bit different than the boardroom.
Yeah.
People who have had parties, birthday parties, kids' birthday parties is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, make it the little dusty crop hopper birthday theme.
All kind of great themes here. Yeah.
Yes, we love to rent it, and our website has information about all that kind of stuff.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.